Hey guys, it's Edmund. So today I'm going to start going over how to create a unique power armor mesh. This is something where you can take an existing power armor mesh and then edit it so that you have backpacks or weapons on the back or whatever you want. You can attach stuff or add cool unique armor aspects, something like that. There's no mod or tutorial out there that details this, and I had a very difficult time figuring it out, so I want everybody to know how to do this. First thing you're going to need is the Bay Bethesda Archive Extractor. That's this link right here. Second thing you're going to need is the Body Slide and Outfit Studio, and the third thing you're going to need is Nifscope. Alright, I'm not going to detail how to install that stuff. You'll have to follow the pages. I'm more going to just spearhead focus on exclusively one singular thing, how to make the power armor models. So you will just read the pages and see how to install them. For basically all of them, it's you download them, it's a zip file, and then you put them in a folder you want. I put mine in a game development tools folder here and just created a specific folder for them and then extracted them there. That's the install instructions, honestly. But if you have questions, concerns, you can consult the mod pages and stuff like that. All right, so the other thing you're going to need is you're going to need the base vanilla models. I'll provide all the models on the mod page itself. But to get the base vanilla models, what you would do is you just go, if you have the script extended version, and I do here, you can just right click it, go open file location, that takes you to the folder. I'm specifically going to the Fallout 4 folder, and then you go data, and then under data you scroll down to Fallout 4 meshes, BA2 right here. Just click and drag that into Bay. I have already done that, as you can see. Once you've done that, all you have to do is click the caret down, and then you go navigate meshes, actors, scroll down, there's a power armor folder. These are basically the folder structures, so you just unclick everything, and this is the top folder, meshes. The subfolder in that top folder is meshes, actor, power armor, character assets, mods, and then skip the goes. That's the thing when you drop an object, that's what it looks like when you drop it, so skip those. What you're looking for is the bodies right here. So this is one. So that's a T45 body. You would extract this. And then if you go to 51, you'll see the T51 body here, and so on and so forth. And then you hit extract, and you can specify a folder on your desktop or something like that. I've already done it right here. Oh, sorry. Right here. Vanilla base PA. So I'm going to just show you, for example, on a T45, we can copy this, because I already pulled all of them here, as you can see. And I'm going to paste a copy of that on my desktop. All right. So then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to basically extract, like we did this for the power armor here. You're going to want to also extract the objects you want to attach to the power armor. It could be backpacks or something like that. You'll have to figure out the navigation path for that yourself. You can use this creation kit. You can use Xedit. There's a lot of ways to do it. You could pull in unique assets or make your own assets. But for this, what I did is I wanted the leather armor, and I wanted the small Sultron satchels and the large Sentry satchels from Automatron. So I'll show you what those look like. So this is just, base leather armor, front satchel, and large top satchel. See? So that's what I used. So then what you're going to do is you're going to open up Outfit Studio. Like I said, I already have it downloaded into my game development folder. So you open up Outfit Studio, and you get this splash page. It's the body slide page. We don't care about that. We care about Outfit Studio, bottom right. You click this here. So the very first thing you're going to do is you go File, and then you can do Load Outfit or Import. In this case, we're going to do Load Outfit. And you'll go From File, and you hit Browse. And I'm going to navigate, so This is the F torso light. I just put my initials in the beginning, EN underscore, to designate it for myself. But this is the vanilla leather armor. This is the vanilla Soltron satchel. And this is the vanilla Sentry top satchel, right? So what we want to do is we want to clean them so that they're basically completely blank. So you click this, hit open, then hit OK. So now this is in. This is actually two objects, as you can see. Doesn't matter. So what we want to do is we want to go File, Export, and then to OBJ. By going to OBJ, you are basically cleaning it of every other reference because it's got a lot of bones and tied animations and stuff we just don't care about. We want it completely blank. We want a clean slate. So you have to do to OBJ first, all right? I already did this, but the output, close down, is going to be this. See these OBJ files? All of these three I turned into OBJs here. See? It's like that easy. Like I already showed you the process. You know, I just didn't click on it. Anyway, once you got the OBJs, then what you need to do is you can finally build, right? So what you do is you go back into Outfit Studio and you go in File. Now what we want to do is we want to first select Load Outfit. We go from File, Browse. I put that mesh of the body on my desktop here, so we're going to click that, hit Open, hit OK. Okay, perfect. This gives you a grid floor. I like that. It just makes it easier to navigate around on this thing. All right, so here is the object. We can delete the decal, so we're immediately going to delete this. So let's just get rid of that. That's fine. So now we have the body. We're actually going to eventually delete the body too. We're just using this to figure out where we want things, okay? So then we go File, Import, from OBJ, and we've got this folder here. These are all my OBJs. Let's do the large top satchel, you know, and, oh, that was my bad, and I knew better. All right. So before we load the OBJ, the one thing you want to do, because we're going to have to basically paint the bones, and to give a very brief overview of this, that basically means like when this object moves, it is intrinsically tied like physics-wise and stuff like that to the object we're importing in. We're going to make it tied to that by basically copying the bones from this power armor to the object that we're bringing in. So to do that, first off, the T45 body up here, right click, and then you want to set this as a reference. It will go like this light green here. You have to set this as a reference before you import. So then, now that we've set this as a reference, we can go import and from OBJ. All right, so now we can do the, we'll do the large top satchel and just hit yes, it's fine. You can rename it if you want. You just do satchel top armor 01. There, that's fine. And then we'll do file and we'll import from OBJ. We'll do the, we'll do another one. Let's just do another large top satchel and we'll change the shape. And we'll hit OK. And this will be, we'll do small satchel top armor 01. Okay. So now we got two objects. As you can see, they're gray. They have nothing in them because we've cleaned them. We cleaned out all of the data, right? So we're going to have to right-click on these and go to Properties. And this is where you're going to have to fill in stuff. You have to repaint its textures under Material. Then you're going to have to go to Geometry and click these guys. Make sure the coordinates are all 0. To figure out what texture mapping you have here, a good idea is to basically take the vanilla object and load it into Outfit Studio. So I just opened a new instance. There's 2 instances here down. So I open a new instance of Outfit Studio. You go import from Nif. You can load that vanilla object. Right now we're looking at this. This is the vanilla object, unaltered. All I did was change the name with my initials in front. So this is the vanilla object here. You can right click, properties, there it is. That's what you need. You can hit copy. If this had alpha test here, you could hit add and it will automatically click this stuff and populate for you. We're going to want full precision, but you can see that this is also skinned already. The coordinates are off, but that's something we don't have to worry about because we already cleaned everything on our existing ones. So anyways, I'm going to close out. We don't care about this. Go back to this. So now we have this guy. So what we'll do is we'll right click, hit properties, materials, paste, and then go to geometry, full precision, and skinned. Then we'll do it again here. And then we go properties. We know that the materials is the same. Geometry, full precision. And then we'll go back to properties, sorry, and skinned. There you go. All right. So then for the small satchel, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it smaller. You can just click the center and pull it in like that. All right, that's fine for me. I'm going to move it up. And then you just use these arrow keys and these rotational things to basically get it in place the way that you want it. Take as much time or as little time as you want to do this, because I'm just kind of tutorial showing you. I'm really not going to put a lot of effort into this. All right, and then that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me tutorial-wise. All right. So anyways, you got the thing in place. This is how you want it. You think this is good. That's great. So now you can do your next step, which is to get the bones painted. Before you do that, what you want to do after getting it in place, you can go to coordinates, verify that it is not altered. And what I'm going to notice here right now, this happened because of how I did things in an order, but these coordinate values are intrinsic to power armor as an outfit. And these are basically static, and it's because the power armor mesh itself gets deformed due to the animations that occur. So the 7 is actually going to be plus or minus 7. Depending on what you're adding to the armor. So if it's in the back, it will be plus 7. If it's in the front, it will be minus 7. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute, but you need to save these values. These values are kind of going to guide you as to where objects need to go, because they're going to be a little off. So anyways, we can go back to properties, and I'm going to clear all this. So I'll just hit 0, 0, 0. We're going to start with a clean slate here. So I'm going to hit 0 for everything, and then here, properties, coordinates. This is already 0. That's because I did things a little differently. If you do full precision, skinned, hit OK, and then go back and hit full precision subindex, hit OK, and then as your last step, hit skinned, the values in the properties here under coordinates will actually remain 0, which is good. We want that. Because I didn't do that for the very first one, they actually kicked in the values of the power armor values, and we don't want that, so I had to go in and edit that. Anyways, after you set the properties to 0, you're going to want to go into edit and then reset transformations. You only have to do that once. That's if the coordinates got off, but as you can see now, they're perfectly 0, so everything's perfect. We already set this as a reference, so we're ready to paint. Everything's in place, and the coordinates are 0. So now what we're going to do is you click on the object. We'll go to the satchel top armor, and then we're going to select copy bone weights. Just trust me when I say just do it this way. Go to 100, go to max, no target limit. You don't always want to do it this way. For power armor, for this specific bit, this is how you're going to want to do it. For like the nuances of like other things like armor on a NPC, not power armor or something, you're not probably going to want to do this. It's going to probably turn out weird. But for what we're doing, it's going to turn out correct. So anyways, you hit OK. So then you can go into bones. And we can see that tank armor is basically covering this entire thing, which is what we want. That's perfect. If it had anything of anything else, we would want to remove it and then just make it all part of tank armor. Basically, when the tank armor moves, this back part moves, this will move. All right, so then we go back to meshes, and we're going to do that for the small one. And we'll go copy bone weights. Again, max everything. No target limit, hit OK. And we go back to bones, ensure that this also only has tank armor. It does. We got lucky. I've done it, and it actually pulls in a little bit of other stuff. If it had, what you do is you see this little brush thing here. If you hit Alt, it will erase the bones, or the bone strength. Different colors mean different strengths. What you're going to want to do is actually go to brush settings right here. Just go to the max size, go to the max strength, and then just hit Alt, and it will delete everything. We don't want that. We genuinely want this to be tank armor. This is just showing you how to do this, but I'm going to repaint this whole thing. As you can see, there it goes. It's all painted. Great. If you wanted to deform this at all, you can do that. That's totally fine. So what you can do is you go from bones back to the mesh. You select the mesh you want to deform. Let's deform the top one a little bit, and we want to puff out the pockets. I'm going to bring down the size. The strength's already a little lower. That's fine, so we'll do that. You see how you can deform it? That's fine. You can deform it as much as you need to or want to. You can also, so this is push out, pull out, and this is push in. Your focus basically says how equal that's going to push out or push in. So that's just a quick walkthrough on this stuff. So anyways, you can say this is done. And if it was in fact done, then what you would do is you can right-click this and then delete it. For right now, what I want to do is I want to show you how this is going to be misaligned. On this mesh, it looks fine, but like I said, this mesh actually deforms. So it's actually going to be up higher, and this bit's going to be a bit lower by a factor of 7, those magic numbers I talked about. All right, so I'm going to file, I'm going to hit export, we'll go to Nif. I'm going to just make it exclamation point, put it on my desktop, and this is probably just going to be these two satchels, and that's what we want. That's good. So it is in fact just the two satchels. So now if I go back into Outfit Studio, and we're going to import, and this time I'm just going to import everything as a NIF. So it's different from loading an outfit. And the reason why is because I want to have the actual body part of this NIF. So again, it looks like it fits. So we're going to hit export to NIF, and this will be 2 exclamation points. All right. So as you can see, this is lower than it should be. It's lower than what it is in our actual image here. So this is almost flush with the top here. And then in the actual NIF, it's down. It's actually down by 7, clearly. So also you can see that deformity right here. That's because this opens up as a motion in an action. It's part of a scene root. If we click on this, it should actually have that scene root under its bskin instance. Go into right here, 9-node scene root. So this is part of the scene root of the action of being part of the movement, because we've now copied the bones of this so that when this armor opens up, these packages, these backpacks will open up with it. Another important note, just by the way, under the bskin instance here, going on bone data, you see how it gives that circle? If you see bone data lists and it doesn't have that circle, or you see a lot of bones in here because you did it wrong and you didn't do one singular bone like I just showed you, it's going to mess up your mesh. It will cause the entire object to go invisible in game, like the entire power armor will go invisible when you leave it alone and the cell resets or some other odd thing can happen. You're going to get a lot of weird behavior if your bones are messed up. So do what I said exactly as I said, and that won't happen. Anyways, so what you would do here, because this is a little off, right, where these two backpacks are, you would just right-click the backpack, and then, so I'm right-clicking here, and then you go move, and then under these values, you do the exact values that we saw earlier. I actually copied these, and I'm going to share this document with you too, but I copied these exact values into a document here. It's right here. These are the intrinsic values with power armor. So the origin is going to be this value for the X, this value for the Y, and this value for the Z. And if I copy this into my power armor here, and I basically right click and move it to that value, so I move this up by that much, and so on and so forth, then it will show up correctly, right? So this is the one that I was editing from. You can see the decal and stuff, so this wasn't the one I was actually actively working on. I was just proving a point with this version. So I'm going to close this and go back to my original here. Well, close that one too. We can now close this and this. So we're going to go back to my original project. This is the original project. So we're going to say this is good and done. Great. Happy with that. So we're going to right click this and we're going to hit delete. Like I said, we don't need it. All we need is this. And that's, by the way, I'm going to take time to point out something. A lot of mods I've seen that alter power armors include the actual power armor frame in the objects. They don't need to do that, and they actually shouldn't do that. You're rendering two objects at the same time. It can cause weird behavior clipping. It's a little extra power on the PC that you don't need to do. You just need the object that you want to attach to the power armor. If you look at the vanilla jetpack, it's like that. You'll know what I mean if you look it up. Anyways, so we're going to right click. We're going to hit move, and then I'm going to start copy pasting over these values. So here we'll copy, and then here we'll paste, and then here we'll copy, and here we'll paste, and again here we'll copy, and here we'll paste. These are our intrinsic values. So we did that for that one. We'll do that for this one. Now, as far as the intrinsic values go, the rotation is less important. As you can see, there's a crap ton of zeros in front of it. It's just if you're a little OCD like I am, that you would utilize those values. So I did personally. You don't need to. I just want to make that clear. So, and then here we go. There. So now that should be done. So now if we go File, Export, now this is a working mesh that can be added to a power armor, and it should show up just fine. So we're going to do what we did before, just with a single exclamation point to test it out. So we're using Nifscope to kind of test how things look. So I'm going to go back to Outfit Studio, make a new instance. This time I'm going to import from Nif. We're going to import the body, and then we're going to file and import the new Nif I just created. And it's going to look a little weird here, but if we export this to Nif, how it looks in Nifscope is how it's actually going to look in the game. So we'll hit 2 exclamation points. It might have been the inverse of, let's see. And nope, that's perfect. That's exactly what I made. As you can see, it's flush with this right here. This is what I made in Outfit Studio. It is exactly where I put it to. So this is how it's going to show up in game, not deformed, but in placement at least. So that's it. I successfully made it. So now that you successfully made it, there's one last thing you have to do. So I'm going to go back to my object, close out the working progress one. All right, so the last thing you should do is you should consolidate. So these are two different objects that are exactly the same. So basically any object where, if we go back to the properties, if the material mesh uses the, if the mesh uses the same texture path, the same material texture path, and both of these do, and in fact many objects can use the same texture path, then you can consolidate those objects to one singular object, and you should do this. It is better for the engine, it's better for your game, it's better for stability, it's better. Do this. All right, so anyways, we're gonna go here, and before we do this, we're gonna hit properties, go back to coordinates, make sure they're zeroed out. If you don't do that, they're gonna get morphed in weird ways, and they are, because we did that earlier. You know, you saw me do that, and so we're already correct here. So then we're gonna right click this and hit merge geometry. And then the only thing we can select is this other one. It says no errors found, delete source object. We'll hit OK. This is now one singular object. If you want to change the name of it, you can rename here and do top, SATCHELS. There you go. And then we'll go 01:0. This is the only one. And the first one. There you go. And then you can do your final. We'll go to NIF, and we'll do final desktop. All right, and that's it. That's how do you make the mesh. Then I'm showing you how to make the mesh, and I want to press upon you the fact that I'm not showing you how to implement this mesh into game. You will have to figure that out. I think a lot of people know how to do that first part, but don't know how to do this later part. I was one of those people that knew how to I knew how to implement the mesh, but I didn't know how to make the mesh. Making meshes is complicated, and it can be difficult, and take a lot of time to try and figure out. So what I wanted to do is save you guys time so that you can figure this out and do this. So what I did when I did this is I created a bunch of working meshes for every armor, and it implements backpacks and side pouches. So the armor will actually fit in this leather thing. You'll see it on the mod page, since this video will be attached to that mod page and stuff. But the point being is that basically you have to go into Creation Kit and then create a system to implement this as a miscellaneous add-on or something using the vanilla system, and then you would just point to the mesh that you created, which would be this final mesh that I made here. That's the whole process. That's how you make power armor meshes. It doesn't take too long. It can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I could not find anyone to explain this to me, and I had to figure out everything, and it was an incredible pain, so hopefully that helps someone out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a good night.